you. Go yourself. Scum. Motherfucker. You deserve to feel the little licks of the flames of hell on every inch of your body.
Vile piece of human debris, Candace Owens has released a trailer for her new series attacking Erika Kirk, the widow of Charlie Kirk. Candace Owens is an evil, twisted human being.
There's virtually nothing that the feds are telling us about his murder that makes any objective sense. But if you're feeling weird about any of that, you're reminded constantly that she is a grieving widow.
Ben Shapiro and Dan Bongino are currently having the most embarrassing meltdown in recent history, all because Candace Owens dropped a series exposing Erika Kirk. Shapiro and Bongino spent the last decade building an empire on being the truth tellers and the anti-establishment warriors. But apparently, Candace asking legitimate questions about the assassination of her friend makes them want to harm her. Bongino got on his podcast and called Candace demonic and even wished hellfire on her. Meanwhile, Shapiro went on this unhinged rant, calling Candace evil and twisted. This is their response when someone with a public platform asks questions about the death of Charlie Kirk. And the hypocrisy here is insane, because isn't
Epstein was not some sort of whiz-kid hedge fund manager. Epstein was playing a part. It's nothing new that if you're in the intel agencies, you want to try and get as much blackmail on powerful people as possible. The evidence that shows that Epstein was a creation of either Mossad, Israeli intelligence, American intelligence, Saudi intelligence.
Isn't it funny how Shapiro and Bongino are completely silent on the Epstein class? And
So, Ben, some people would accuse Israel of wanting to ethnically cleanse. Is the media totally presenting the truth when it comes to Israel?
And we know for a fact that Chowry wanted the files released in full, and he even started speaking on Epstein working for foreign intelligence. And who can forget about Charlie's last interview with Ben Shapiro, just 48 hours before he was assassinated? So if they care so much about Charlie, Erika, Ben Shapiro, and Dan Bongino talk about Epstein. That's what their Charlie would have wanted. So why are they ignoring his wish? Well, it's simple. These people are not truth tellers. They are gatekeepers, and they are terrified of what Candace might expose next.
What's in that Talmud, and I encourage other people at home to learn what is in that Talmud so that you know what Ben thinks of you, because he doesn't just hate me, he hates you too, white men. He hates all black people.
So Ben Shapiro is crashing out over Candace's new docuseries about Erika Kirk, Bride of Charlie. And as Candace dropped the trailer, Shapiro went off on her, calling her twisted and evil and trying to rally his supporters to attack her. But
Candace Owens has released a trailer for her new series attacking Erika Kirk, the widow of Charlie Kirk. She has been suggesting for a while that TPUSA was complicit, if not in the murder of Charlie Kirk, then in the cover-up of the murder of Charlie Kirk. This is the stuff that Candace Owens has been doing. She's a conspiratorial, evil person, because that's who would do something like this. Where are Charlie's friends? When the signs are there for years on end, and people say nothing, and people continue to say nothing today.
Shapiro wasn't done. He then went on to accuse Candace of profiting from Charlie's death, and he tried to paint Erika and Turning Point as the real victim.
Who are watching Candace stitch together a bunch of specious nonsense because they like the gossip of it. Please have some more respect for yourself than that, because what she's doing is evil, and when you watch her show, she gets paid to do that evil. She is making money off the murder of Charlie Kirk by literally implicating his widow and everyone else at TPUSA in that murder, and then trying to dig up pseudo-dirt on the wife of the person who was murdered. I don't know what to call that other than evil trash. Candace Owens is an evil, twisted human being.
Now, anything's wrong with Ben Shapiro lecturing anybody on being a decent person. But let's start with the biggest lie of all. Shapiro is currently parading around acting like he was Charlie Kirk's best friend and guardian of his legacy. But here's how Charlie actually felt about Ben Shapiro. Candace revealed text messages from Charlie where he made it clear he didn't like Shapiro, and he even warned her that Shapiro would try to destroy both of their careers. In one message, Charlie told Candace that they should treat Ben like noise, and he wrote, "His respect amongst movement fighters is quite low." But Charlie didn't stop there. He also wrote this: "The Ben thing involves me more than he wants to admit. He knows Jon Snow is stronger than the dragons that fly higher." After that, Charlie and Candace agreed that Ben saw Charlie as a threat. And then Charlie pulled out another Game of Thrones reference and told Candace that Ben was trying to erase both of them. Charlie said, "And he's sending his incestuous brother to go try and kill us." Now, if you watch Game of Thrones, you know exactly what that means. However, Charlie had even more to say about Ben Shapiro. After Candace suggested that Shapiro can't stand that she and Charlie are close, Charlie replied, "It's worse. He views you as my slave, 100%. Control her," is what he was really saying to me when he called. But fast forward to now, Charlie is gone and Ben Shapiro is using his death as a shield to attack Candace. However, as Candace pointed out, Shapiro never liked Charlie. He only saw him as a useful tool. Not only that, but Candace said that Shapiro actually hates everyone who doesn't belong to his special group. Now,
You're obnoxious. You have absolutely no values that exist outside of the Talmud. You describe yourself as a Talmudic Jew, and I've learned what's in that Talmud, and I encourage other people at home to learn what is in that Talmud so that you know what Ben thinks of you, because he doesn't just hate me, he hates you too, white men. He hates all black people, okay? If he's following the rules of the Talmud, I mean, when I say hates, they think that we're animals, that they have a right to own us, that they have a right to make us worship them, that they have a right to treat Charlie the way that he treated Charlie while he was alive, only to then try to defraud the population into thinking that he is somehow a part of his legacy.
let's talk about Dan Bongino, because this is where the hypocrisy gets off the charts. Bongino not only called Candace demonic for asking questions about Erika Kirk's bizarre behavior, but he even wished harm on her and said she deserves to feel flames of hell.
You go yourself, you demonic f***ing scum. This just can't be what this movement is. And if it is, I just don't want any part of it. Erika didn't choose this, man. But I'm sorry if the language distracts from you, but I can think of no other New York way to say it than fuck you, motherfucker. You deserve to feel the little licks of the flames of hell on every inch of your body. If there's an afterlife, oh, and I believe there is. I believe in the second creation. I don't pretend to be the judge and jury, but I know.
Hold up. Where was Dan Bongino's outrage when it came to Epstein? Let me give you the timeline. Before Bongino got his government job, he was one of the loudest voices demanding that the Epstein files be released. He built his entire brand on being the guy who would expose the government's secrets. He even promised day one releases and said he would blow the whole thing open.
Listen, that Jeffrey Epstein story is a big deal. Please do not let that story go. Keep your eye on this. There are a lot of people who are knee-deep in the Washington swamp who are not telling you the truth about serious allegations out there that Epstein may have had video and audio of people out there doing things they shouldn't have been doing. And you should be asking yourself the question, how is it that all these people, the CIA director, the Obama fixer, Bill Clinton, all intersected paths with Jeffrey Epstein? Jeffrey Epstein isn't with us anymore, and nobody seems to want to talk about
Job. March 17th, 2025 was Bongino's first day as FBI deputy director, and according to internal emails obtained by Bloomberg, by March 18th, his second day on the job, Bongino was already being forwarded guidance about how to redact the Epstein files. And since then, Bongino completely switched up on the whole Epstein scandal. So
He killed himself. You want me to get? I've seen the whole file. He killed himself.
silent on actual PDFs, redacts the Epstein files, and moves on. But Candace is the demonic one for asking legitimate questions about Charlie Kirk's assassination. It's pathetic, it's transparent, and it's exactly why Bongino's credibility is in the gutter. But clearly, Candace got a little too close to the truth, because as soon as she announced her series Bride of Charlie, suddenly you saw all these influencers using the exact same language to smear her. Evil, demonic, bowels of hell. It was so coordinated that people started asking if this was an organized smear campaign. Well, a leaked email started circulating claiming that Turning Point USA was paying influencers to use these specific words, and allegedly there was an orchestrated messaging campaign with scripted talking points to paint Candace as an evil grifter profiting from a tragedy. Now, if Candace is really just a conspiracy theorist like Shapiro and Bongino claim, why did Erika and Turning Point go to such lengths to smear her? Well, to answer that question, just go and watch Bride of Charlie. In her docuseries, Candace exposed so many inconsistencies in Erika's life story, her family background, and her entire public persona. And while Ben Shapiro and Dan Bongino want you to believe this is all just conspiracy talk, people inside Turning Point are now backing Candace and claiming Erika is retaliating against everyone who questions the official story of Charlie's assassination. A former TPUSA communications staffer, Augury Lech, publicly came forward and said she was terminated for questioning the narrative of what happened to Charlie. They're calling Candace
terminated from Turning Point because I am questioning the narrative of what happened to CEO Charlie Kirk on the day of his assassination.
A demon because they have nothing else left. But the receipts are public and the timeline speaks for itself. So keep paying attention and asking the questions they don't want asked. Because if they're this scared of a YouTube series, just imagine what happens when the rest of the evidence drops.